Alright, so to get started with our Leonardo da Vinci inspired picture, we're going to be using a photocopy of the Mona Lisa. And this is a technique that is going to simplify our process to creating a beautiful work of art based on the Mona Lisa. And just because the Mona Lisa is a little bit more challenging to draw and to create, we are using the image that I have a link below to it. You can actually print it out, and this is the image that we're going to be using. So once you have printed that image out, this is what's going to be transferred over to the canvas. And in order for us to transfer it over, we're going to need to flip it over, and on the back you're either going to use a black crayon or a carbon pencil. So I have a carbon pencil here. The carbon also comes in different presentations. It can come in like blocks. In this case, I have a carbon pencil, so I'm going to be using my carbon pencil to cover the whole entire back area of my copy. If you have the crayon, then you would do the whole entire area on the back of your copy with the black crayon. So it just depends on what you have accessible for you, because both of these work well for a carbon copy. Except that I'm going to be using the carbon copy because this is the traditional technique. Just in case you don't have the carbon, you can substitute it for a black crayon. So let's go ahead and start by adding the carbon all over the back of our copy, just like this. You don't have to press so hard, as long as we have a nice solid finish of that carbon all over the back of our copy. So here we go. Alright, now can you imagine a world without Xerox machines? Well, carbon copies were dominating during the time when technology wasn't as advanced as we have it now, and they would use carbon sheets to place behind other sheets and make multiple copies. So the carbon is actually something that people used in order to transfer images over so that they can be reproduced. And this is a great technique for artists to use in order to transfer an image over to another surface. So our surface that we're going to be working with is going to be our canvas. And we're going to place our canvas in front of us. Now, as you notice, the sheet of paper is larger than the canvas that I'm using. So I'm just going to try to fit it in so that my main Mona Lisa shape is placed in the center. So I'm going to kind of grab it. I'm going to see how I really want to place it. You can actually see the lines there. And I'm going to tape it. So I'm going to put some tape so that my image is not moving around once I start to trace it in. So I'm just going to put some tape. And I think that'll do. If you want to fold parts of it, that's okay, because then you can tape it as well. Just making sure that your image does not move once you start tracing it in. So we want everything to stay in place. That's the main goal. Okay, so now I have my canvas right underneath, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to trace my Mona Lisa as best as I can with my pencil. Just try to follow along the lines and try your best. I want to shade this area in. And there we go. We're going to go ahead and trace all of our image as best as possible. Alright, so once we're done tracing the whole image, if you noticed, I just went ahead and drew the lines all the way till the end so that this line wouldn't be blocking my way to the complete picture. So make sure that you guys just bring it along and ignore the line if your canvas is slightly longer than that area there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove our copy and take a look at what we have traced. And there we go. Okay, so now I have the image to work with, and now I can start to paint it in. So let's go ahead and do that next. In order for us to get started with our painting, I have this book that can help us look at the colors. And you guys can always look online, check out the colors. They're very neutral, very earthy colors that we're going to be using. They're not bright, they're not super catchy colors. They're not colors that are going to stand out quite a bit. They're very, very soft and subtle and earthy tones. So that's one of the things that we're going to focus on once we're painting our Mona Lisa. I want you guys to notice how the colors in this area here on her skin, they're very earthy and warm colors. They kind of go here along a little bit darker, and then here as well. So we're not going to be using a whole bunch of colors like we normally do. Unless you want to make it a bright and abstract Mona Lisa, go for it. But I think I want to stick to the colors of the Mona Lisa. So it's really up to you, and let's go ahead and have fun painting our Mona Lisa. Okay, so I do have my Mona Lisa image here next to me, and I have my watercolor paint set here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of add a little bit of water to each and every one of those colors so that it can be nice and moist for me to work with. So let's go ahead and add just a tiny bit of water in each one of these. And once we have that, let's clean our brush nice and neat so we're ready to start. Now I'm going to go ahead and start with the face. So we're going to do a lot of blending here, and I can see there's darker shades towards the ends here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. There's also darker areas here. Now, in order to get the lighter areas, I'm going to go to my lighter 10 and just want to kind of soften it up a little bit. So I'm going to take off the paint from my brush and just kind of work with whatever's left of it. Not too much paint, not too much water, just whatever I have there. Maybe a little bit more here. As I can see, there's a little bit of a dark area here. I could just keep going like that. but not too much water. Make sure that you guys keep wiping your brush as you go along.